Hello, welcome to March 31st, 2022. Should I button this up? I'm feeling a little disheveled today, this morning. Disheveled, is that the right word? If I was a woman, maybe I would say I feel ravished. Can a man be ravished? I mean, I guess you can have a ravishing hunger, but ravished is then, I hope I'm not sounding politically incorrect, as if life had had its way with me. I was about to say I love every minute of it, but that sounds really bad. That doesn't sound good at all. I'm going to take that back. I didn't say that, but I did. It's like Will Smith, I regret. Did I really just do that? Did I really just say that? Anyway, I don't usually make myself a cup of coffee for this, except on the weekends. I allow myself that. This just doesn't look like that. It looks like a back in the 70s. Button up, Kurt. Hey, now I look like Pee Wee Herman. No, I just really do. This last couple of days really had their way with me. Yesterday morning was rough. Getting fired up for work. I was downright depressed. At the start of the day. I was like, because I had just like a solid day of meetings and so many things to do, and I was so far behind, and I just didn't feel like I was on my game, and I was tired, and jealous of all the retired men that every day it's like I live in this old people's community. Didn't know that when I came here. But the area that we live is a place that people retreat to when they retire. I should have known that because my own grandparents retreated here. They're buried, 10 minutes down the road. I remember coming here when I was a kid to see them. So people retire from elsewhere and then they buy a house. They'll sell their house for, $700,000 in L.A. area, $1 million now. And Harold down the street, the guy that always wants to punch me in the face, he always does this. He's like, they call me Flash. He was telling me last weekend I saw him, and he told me that his friends just sold their house for $9.2 million, which blew his mind. Yeah, I'm sure he was thinking he wished he'd wait to sell his house, but he has nothing to do. All he does is, I don't know the man that well, but all he seems to do is walk the streets. An old man walking the streets. That'll be me. But, where'd my damn pen go? Oh, I got rid of it. I was shuffling things around yesterday. I don't have it. I'll have to remember. Anyway, so these people, they come out here and then they buy a house out here for $400,000. And they're nice houses, but you have to live in the desert. Summers are brutal, and then they're set for life, because then they've got $300,000, $400,000 to augment their IR, their 401ks, and then they've got their Social Security, and they're set for life. And these they've got, and I sit here, I can see it right from here. If I open my window right here while I'm working, there's a Wojtek across the street. Look at me, I'm getting to know everybody's name. He's over there, he's got his garage door open, he's doing woodworking in his garage all day. Harold's walking the streets, feigning punching at people. And you can count them, they're just all up and down there on the street. Just all these retired guys, with their garage doors open. And yesterday morning I was like, man, I want to be that guy. The interesting thing is, with the exception of Harold, who's probably in his late 70s, a lot of these guys are like only 5 years older than me. I mean, they're in their early 60s, maybe mid 60s. And now I'm starting to realize why it's like a the cycles of life, right? I mean, you reach a point about now, late 50s, turning the corner into 60, and you're like, I've had enough of this. I don't want to do this anymore. This getting up, getting in the car, going to work. I mean, for me, no more getting in the car or riding on the bike. It's just coming in here and doing work. And it's not even that I'm so tired. It's just my mind is. It's like I always use that image of a sponge that's been wrung dry, and you let go. It's not spongy anymore. You've been washing the dishes with it so long. It's just like a mat. Excuse me, no longer effect. Pardon me. See, that's why I don't drink the coffee, because it makes me the foam makes me burp. But I need it this morning because I'm tired. And that's what it's like. I'm that sponge. All I'm good for when I'm that sponge is to stay home. Now, I'm looking forward to that, but I know that it's like rappelling down into a hole that you can never climb out of. But I'm ready, and Yumiko's ready too. And more and more, it looks like we're definitely going back to Japan to retire. I think we're going to head to Atami, on the edge of the Izu Peninsula. Find ourselves a nice place there and settle down for good. Or maybe not for good, and at least until the next time we decide to move again. Okay, let's do this. Well, I'm Kurt. I'm here doing the Good Life meditation. I usually intro with that. This is my daily remembrance of objectives and principles so that I can prepare for the day. Yesterday I promised I would do a lightning round, and I didn't. I pretty much did the full thing. So today I'm going to do the lightning round because I got a lot to do. As Dr. Johnson said, I was reading yesterday, The Life of Dr. Johnson. This is volume 2. I finished volume 1. It's 3 volumes like this. It's like 1,200 pages of this biography. So that book over there, the one that I just finished, is that it? Or is this one the one? Yeah, this is the one I just finished. And he said here, I've never lived a week of life that I would care to live again. Something to that effect. Man, this week is one of them. I wouldn't want to do this one again. No, thank you. On the other hand, my brother texted me that he met someone that we both know that recently retired in October, I think it was. He ran into him on Tuesday at lunch, and he was describing how happy he seemed, and that he had his shirt buttoned down. He's from the guy that retired. He's from the New York area, and Italian. And my brother Lyle said he even had a big gold chain. You can see it buttoned down here, gold chain, out doing what the hell he wanted. And there was like this tone of Lyle. My brother's just a few years younger, 19 months younger than me, so he's feeling the same way. And we were like, jealousy. Let's do the good life. 7 objectives. These are: number 1, to be always ready to die. Number 2, to make good and effective use of my time. 3, to cultivate good emotional reactions. To develop and maintain good and sound life principles. Emotional reactions is the next one. Then to perform good actions. Number 6 is to recognize my true limits and my true opportunities. And number 7 is to just do one thing at a time, and to do that thing slowly. Okay. Now my 30 principles. 1, the principle of war. Always fighting against things that I think are true, or that are proposed to me as true. 2, the principle of reason, and the sub-principles of honesty, objectivity, and doubt, which is the frame of mind that I endeavor to cultivate in approaching the world. Number 3 is the homunculus, the suggestion that basically there's no soul, the observation that clearly there's no such thing as a soul, and that all we really have instead is what our consciousness, which is a a light of energetic activity in our brains. Not really a light, but figuratively speaking, that will wink out when we do. The Anchorhold is the next principle. The idea that our consciousness is pretty much trapped within our head. We can't really connect with anybody. We're all really alone. And then the principle of the home of good and evil. Right and wrong do not exist out there in the universe. They're ideas that we maintain and hold in our mind. Principle number 6 is purpose. The 3 purpose in my life are to be a good husband and father, and to be a virtuous man, and to pursue the sharing of my life's work, which is the good life. And the story, Going Alone, that tells the story of how I developed this. Next comes the atomic principle. Everything is made of bits and pieces, flowing and changing, forever transforming. Then the principle of nature. Everything has some particular nature, and it's good to recognize what that is, because we can deal better with the world if we're dealing with it honestly, with how it really works and how others really work. Then the pirate ride. The idea that free will is a very convincing illusion, but nonetheless an illusion. We are not free. Then after that comes the maturity and the sub-principles of wisdom and fortitude. We are wise when we remember our successes and failures, and we live better when we have the strength to avoid the successes, or avoid the failures, and repeat the successes, pursue the successes, furtherance of the successes. And then the social principle. We're social creatures, we need each other. And then the public speaking, the idea to use few words, carefully chosen words, deliberate words, and to never ever gossip. Then comes the principle of temperance, and the sub-principles of suffering, simplicity, and apathy. Actually, I need to move apathy to the other one. I talked about that yesterday, I keep forgetting. Or here it comes again, sorry. La la la. Temperate life is a good life. Sorry. Who burps because of coffee? Okay, temperance, and then that's fun to laugh. Don't do that enough. Too much serious stuff. Seemingly serious stuff. I did pretty good for a little bit yesterday. I mean, I was really, really on the ragged edge, and I kind of pulled myself back from the brink. You know, like I said, that edge between having a bad day and being depressed. And I pulled myself back, and I'm not quite sure how I did it, but I was like, it was kind of like just a matter of like, gosh, I've been here so many times. I've done this so many times, and it's never to any avail. The hell with it. I just won't feel like this. And it kind of worked. I need to try that more often. I don't know exactly where that came from. Something to that. Anyway, temperance, controlled consumption, including controlled consumption of my indulgence into feeling bad, feeling some pity party. I got nothing to be pitiful about. I have a hugely blessed life, but even that, I mean, we all have our days, right? And our nights. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention that. I slept for, I was up for at least 45 minutes, half hour before the alarm went off. So, not a surprise. Awful day at work. Awful night of sleep. There you go, that's the thing. That's the title. Then comes, I can't remember, I forgot to write it. It's done in my hand. Awful night. Awful day. Awful night. There you go. It sounds very depressive, but captures the idea. Okay, that's temperance. Then I talked about after that is the home of the horror show. Life is this horrible, terrible thing, as Dr. Johnson said. He'd never had a week of life that he'd want to repeat, and he's a man who really suffered. I just want to keep in mind that people are suffering everywhere. Just about everybody around you is. That's funny how we're mostly putting on a happy face despite that fact. And then comes the principle called that which must be borne, carried, borne with an E. We have to bear the responsibilities of our life, particularly when we take on the role of husband and parent and, you know, you know, child, that's adult child, looking after their parents, etc., etc., all those things. Good employee. After that comes, the Feast of Offal. That's when we get upset and let the whole world know. I mean, that experience with Will Smith, Chris Rock, that's an example. You know, I'm upset, and I'm gonna make sure everybody knows about it. And the impact that it had on other people is the thing that's really in point here. It's too bad that someone suffers like that, but they infect others in the process, and who in turn then pass it along and on and on. It's like that commercial, you know. He said, she said, she said. You know, I don't want to engage in any of that. So I try not to deliver the feast, nor do I attempt to consume it. Although I did watch the video of Will Smith hitting him. Okay, then comes, what's next? Oh, is it distraction? I think it's distraction. And the principle called agency and the great indifference. So we spend our lives distracting ourselves with work and play and hobbies and TV and music, whatever we want to do, mainly so that we don't have to apprehend a universe without God. And so, religion is another great religion's the best of all distractions to an empty universe. Then comes the best seat in the house, to not want to be anyone else, be anywhere else, or be doing anything else, but to be okay with who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing, all the while striving to improve. Then comes the path of wildness. It's easy to find. The course of a stream, leaves blown in the wind, and a beast's track through the brush. Off we go to a new life. And then comes the risk of avoiding risk, remembering that there's all kinds of surface level risks to address in life. Education, career, family, home, old age, safe security in our old age. And there's also the deep level risk, which is, the risk of not finding ourselves. That one, not doing that pays awful dividends later in life. Beware, wandering the streets. Then comes sin and damnation. The sins in my worldview are 8, 7 of which are sins of belief and attitude. Sins, belief, attitude, and communication. These are falsity, being untrue; credulity, believing things too easily; hope, wanting without action; faith, believing something where the fact that we believe is held up as the evidence for the belief, which is nonsense; authority, belief because we're convinced by the weight of the argument and the person making the argument. We're not convinced by the weight of the argument. That's not right. We're convinced by the force of the one who's making the argument, right? Being convinced by the weight of the argument is the good reason to believe. Dogma, believing something because, well, so many others do, and they've been doing it so long. And look at that funny hat the Pope's wearing. And then superstition. What do I need to say more? Superstition is like categorically nonsense, practically. And then gossip, again, the great sin of gossip. All of those things, engaging in any of those sins, leads to a form of damnation, not in any afterlife, but in the here and now. Then comes complete oblivion, the fact that when we're dead, there's going to be nothing left. Since we don't have a soul, there is no God, there is no heaven or hell, there's no afterlife. We're not going to see each other again. So we're not going to have a chance to see our loved ones who have passed. We're never going to have a chance to make amends with those who have gone before us or who will follow. And there'll be no final justice because there's no justice giver and there's no afterlife. So that means we have to attend to all those things now before we're dead. Now, next, after complete oblivion comes the great life adventure, one or more experiences in life that become our centerpiece, our story. And then the season of philosophy, which is a time to record whatever voices are speaking in our head. It's the idea of the muse speaking, inspiration coming. I set up a little writing desk over there. It's dedicated just for that purpose, for my journaling. And I've got my book there, and I got my pencil and my pen and my colors. I can just sit down anytime, and every day I just write down. I decided to do that instead of electronic journal. I've gone back to hard journal. Just write down whatever comes throughout the day. Just pop up and go over and write it down. It seems to be working nicely. I'm going to make it work nice. This is how I'm going to do it. No seeming about it. Okay, the season of philosophy. Next comes distraction. No. Bullseye aim. We strive for the mark and we miss. Like yesterday, dang it. I told you I was all messed up at work because there was this one thing that came, and a request that came that I literally spent a full day in an otherwise very busy week scrambling to mitigate that request. Now, the work that I did will yield fruit in phase 2 of the project, but it put me behind on everything. And yesterday I had this one, I had really needed to send out this email. I should have sent it out on Tuesday night, and I failed to do it until yesterday, a day late. And the executive sponsor even brought it to my attention. And I was on my list of things to do. And as a result, I didn't get to it in time, and I missed something else as well that I didn't get to in time. It was a cascade of things. That's the bullseye aim, right? I'm trying to hit the mark, and I'm riding that bike like crazy to try to get there. But just, I'm late, and the train took off. I'm stuck on a bike. Okay. No wonder I can't sleep. That was bullseye aim. Next principle is the uphill climb. Keep trudging upward in life. No sitting on the side of the mountain for me for very long. No digging a hobbit hole in the side of the mountain at age 35 and saying I'm going to stay there. I'm going to keep climbing. I want to see how high I can get on this mountain and what the vista looks like from the higher reaches, as lonely and unsettling as it may seem. Although I don't want to work anymore. I think that's almost biologically triggered in within this, that lack of wanting to work at a certain age. I also understand why so many old people don't want to have anything to do with the world, so to speak. Right? They just, okay, I'm going to retreat into my little 55 plus retirement community. Screw you all. I see it more and more. It's just this busy beehive of an engine that drives the economy, that provides another generation of human beings to propagate us, to propel us forward. It's an engine. It's a biological engine. It's like bees buzzing around in their damn beehive, or ants, swarming over the ground. I mean, you reach a certain point and you're like, yeah, this is necessary. Yeah, this is important, but I'm done with this. You guys do that. I'm closing the gate. You get off the damn grass. Hallelujah, brother. I see it. I see the light. I see the promised land. The promised land is retirement. Okay. Okay. What was it? Oh yeah, the uphill climb, and then arena and utility. Life is an arena for the. I need to write that down. The promised land. That's a better title for this video. Okay, an arena and utility. Life is an arena for the improvement of our life and the lives of others through the execution of our principles, the utilization of our principles towards our objectives. Blah 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 blah. Okay, you're getting to do this rote, Kurt. And then nothing is enough. Less is better. That's another principle. And the last one is the principle of fun. Have a good time. Laugh more. Damn it, Kurt. Laugh more. Have fun. I take all this so damn seriously. And it's not that, it is serious, especially when children are involved. But I've done my part for that. still, I can make a world a better place. I can do that, and I will. It's my good life meditation for today. I was going to do a lightning round, and I ended up doing another 25 minutes. I guess it is what it is. It's the nature, principle of nature, right? It's my nature. Enough to plan for the coming day. The coffee's helping me out, and I got up really early and took my allergy meds. So, and maybe that's why I feel so good. I have my allergy meds. I have the coffee. I'm ready to do this day, and I got another good day ahead. It's not as not as tough as the last two, but I got a good day, a solid day of work ahead. I can do it. I feel good when I work hard. I feel good when I engage with the day, even though it's beating the crap out of me and I'm exhausted by the end. I do want to retire, but I do want to work hard and all the time, and want to work well. And I'm on my game better than ever in my life. Even though my brain is starting to falter, my memory is starting to go, I'm more in control of my mind. I'm more in control of myself. I have better tools and methodologies for my job than I ever have before, and I'm more mature, and I'm really in control of my emotions now more than any point in my life. My emotions, even though they rise and fall throughout the day, I keep a pretty steady, stoic eye on things. That's something that's not accidental. That's deliberate through the study of the Stoics that I've had in the last 5 years, really focusing on Stoic principles and developing and leveraging these into my own, namely the good life. The good life has brought me to a more mature place in life. And with that, I'll get busy now. Wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.